Thank you for joining us. We look forward to discussing with you today our panel about drone jobs. Where's the money? Obviously, this is an industry that is becoming very profitable. It's come leaps and bounds from where it was a couple of years ago. There have been a lot of development, but even within this industry, there are various types of operations and end user industries where jobs tend to be more profitable. So we're going to be discussing that today. My name is Grant Guillot. I'm a partner and the Unmanned Aircraft Systems team leader at the law firm Adams and Reese. And I'm joined today by Adam Cohen, who's a mobility futures researcher at UC Berkeley, Darshan Divakaran, who's the founder and president of Airavat LLC, Sevan Mehrabian, founder of Deloitte Consulting LLP, and Charles, director of the Drone Responders Public Safety Alliance. I'm excited to talk with these guys today. They each are going to bring a unique perspective to this conversation. So without further ado, I've told you a little bit about myself. I work with drone companies and with end user industries that are incorporating drones more and more. Since COVID-19, we've been seeing a lot more interested in drone delivery. So I've been working with companies on their Part 135 license, as well as assisting companies with delivery operations under Part 107. Yes, you can do that. It's a common misconception that you can't, but it is possible to have scalable delivery under Part 107. You just can't go beyond line of sight or beyond state lines. But I digress. Let me go ahead and move into our excellent panel today. I'm going to start with Adam Cohen. Adam, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your organization?
Well, thank you, Grant. So I am a senior mobility researcher at the Transportation Sustainability Research Center over at UC Berkeley. And our center kind of really focuses on innovative and emerging transportation technologies, including advanced air mobility, unmanned aerial systems, urban air mobility, automated vehicles, shared mobility, and other transformative technologies. And I'm excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks, Adam. Darshan, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? Obviously, you're very well known in this industry, and people probably already know all about you, but nevertheless, let's hear it again. Obviously, you've done a lot of great things in this industry, and you've played a pivotal role in helping organize conferences such as this. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. Thank you, Grant. So I'm the president of Airavat Solutions. We are a company that focuses on state and local government. We have helped states like North Carolina and Arizona put up their drone programs, and that's not just at the at a Department of Transportation level, but with other organizations as well. And we have focused on UTM, urban air mobility, counter US, education. So overall, we help out with education, integration, training, and outreach, and putting together state and local events to help educate the workforce. From the university level to community colleges, we help everyone understand this industry and get prepared for the jobs out there, but also to be a safe drone pilot to fly in the national airspace.
Thanks, Darshan. Sevan Mehrabian, let's move on to you. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do with Deloitte Consulting.
Hey, everyone. Sevan Mehrabian. I'm a senior manager with Deloitte Consulting and one of the founders and leaders of our drone program, which has existed for a few years now. And as you guys know, this is a fast-moving industry. And as a consulting company, we've tried to figure out the best way we can serve clients. Obviously, as a consulting company, we don't touch drones, we don't build drones, so we do everything else. And as the industry has evolving from drones to urban air mobility to counter UAS, we're serving a whole host of clients, both on the government and commercial side, around the drone or urban air mobility topic. I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Thanks, Sevan. Charles Werner, obviously I work with you guys. Drone Responders is a big name in the industry. You guys have done some wonderful things in improving public perception of drones because you've highlighted how those drones can be used to help everyday individuals in America, both through emergency response, search and rescue. The list goes on and on. Storm restoration efforts. I could go all day on this. So Charles, are the director of the Drone Responders Public Safety Alliance. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure, thanks, Grant. I'm the retired fire chief from Charlottesville, Virginia, and now the founder and director of Drone Responders, the leading nonprofit program in the country designed to advance public safety unmanned aircraft systems. And we do that through a resource center we have online with over 400 documents. We have a discussion forum. We do 2 monthly podcasts. We also provide a lot of information content for the largest conferences that are given for unmanned systems in the world. And we continue to partner with different agencies across the country to advance this. But we also deal with enabling drones for good, countering drones for bad, and air traffic management. So we need to stay in touch with all those aspects of the UAS ecosystem.
Thanks, Charles. So I'm going to move into our first major talking point, and this is what we're here to discuss today, and that's jobs for drones. Where's the money? Drones, as many people are aware, really started out as kind of a military function. That's where they were primarily used. Then we saw it kind of move into the hobbyist realm. And in recent years, in the commercial industries, we've seen drones being utilized more and more. In fact, if you look at some statistics, I believe in, Adam might be able to talk more to this than me, but you see that there was this expectation that the hobbyist consumer market was really going to grow a lot more than it has. And instead, you're seeing a lot more growth in the commercial applications of drones. At least that's been my observation of it. And, it's something, actually, I'm going out of order. Adam, I'm going to go ahead and get to you first on this because it's germane to the very thing that, I'm talking about right now. And that's how the markets are reacting to drones, where drones are surfacing more so than others. But anyway, as I said, it started out as a military function, then hobbyist. Now we're seeing commercial applications really being the main way in which drones are used. So what I want to know is, why do you guys think these end users industries such as construction, energy, forestry, agriculture, insurance, real estate, I could go on and on, transportation, logistics, why are all these industries embracing drones at the exponential rate in which they are doing so? So, Adam, I'm going to start with you.
Absolutely, thank you. So, you're absolutely right. There was a study actually recently released that expects that drone sales, the market's going to grow exponentially, but 70% of it's going to be kind of the commercial space. And I think it's really because we're seeing a lot of growing use cases for drones that hadn't been imagined before. Everything from remote sensing to aerial surveillance, crop dusting, which has been around for a little while, filmmaking, oil and gas exploration, disaster relief, and then imagery for both construction and real estate. So I think each of these sectors in the economy, some of them which are growing quite a bit now, such as the disaster relief space, I think we're seeing a lot of growing applications and a realization that this is a flexible technology that has a lot of different use cases.
Thanks, Adam. I completely agree with you. And you brought up disaster recovery, and that's going to make me pivot to Charles. Right now, obviously, I'm a Louisianian. I don't happen to be in Louisiana today, but my hometown of Baton Rouge got it pretty bad yesterday with Hurricane Delta. City to the west of me, Lake Charles, this is the second time in nearly a month it's been decimated by a hurricane. Laura, of course, being the first hurricane. And I can tell you, in working with energy companies over there, they are certainly using drones much more so, definitely more so than they were in the times of Hurricanes Katrina and Rita, because that was, 15 years ago. But even more so than in recent years, where they were using drones. But it almost seems like now there's this expectation that you're going to send drones out there before you send humans, because obviously it's safer and they're able to assist these agencies in streamlining operations and reducing liability. Charles, I may have kind of just given away some of your answer, but why is it that you think public agencies and emergency response organizations are embracing drones the way they are?
I think that's largely because of the changes and the applications we saw during Hurricanes Harvey, Irma, and Maria. That was really the learning experience and the turning tide, if you will, of really understanding the value of what unmanned aircraft systems provide in these types of situations. What they really do better than anything else is they tell how bad is bad, and they do it very quickly. The other thing that makes a difference in this is that a lot of departments, agencies, up until this point did not have aviation resources. So they could not go out and do assessments. Now the drones offer a new opportunity, an affordable way to fly and get information. And what we're seeing in addition to that, we're seeing the drones being used in advance of the storms. So now we're taking what does this area look like prior to the storm, and what does it look like after? And what's really nice about it is that we have these very detailed imagery. And I'm going to pivot a little bit from a hurricane for a minute. I'm going to just glance over at wildfires. And to say in the wildfire situation, we're seeing it even used more now, tying it to GIS layers and being able to do 360 panoramic views of damaged areas, which is now has a public face that people who may have lost their homes and they're not sure and they can't go back into the neighborhoods can see that, which also translate over into the insurance world, where it means their claims can start moving more quickly because the insurance companies can see that. So the advantages from that, the critical infrastructure, all the public utilities, it's all having an impact of how we can learn, how we can respond, and how we can recover.
Absolutely. And, Charles, you work a lot with various public safety agencies, and a point that I don't want to forget to ask you about later in the program is about the drone responder survey that came out recently, which I found the answers to be kind of surprising to in a good way. But we'll discuss that in a little bit. Darshan, let's move on to you. You work with several states in implementing drone programs and in helping these, government entities understand why drones will allow them to reduce risk, lower costs, and streamline operations. How has the response been from the states that you've reached out to? Why do you think they are starting to implement drones at the rate they are?
So yeah, at the government level, with state agencies, I would say I would take your question and give a bullet points to that as three main factors. So government would see this more like, does it have a safety case? Does it have a innovation side to it? And then return on investment. And when I say return on investment, it's not making profit out of it, but making sure that the taxpayers' money is going in the right direction, because technology keeps changing. Today, you may see a product that is great in the market, but after a year, you may see something that's much better. And government agencies are not in the market to buy everything that is available. They need to see a long-term plan for it. So when it comes to working with state agencies, first thing is building the trust. It's a very difficult thing to do, because over years they have met enough salespeople, they have met enough, they've seen enough products that have come and gone in the market. So when you work with state agencies, it becomes a little difficult, because first of all, as a person who is guiding these agencies, you have to show them the capability of the technology, not just on a slideshow and stuff, but actually show them by demonstration and feedback from other states. So states that are moving ahead in this space are really guiding these other states, and you will see that state agencies reach out to other state agencies first, before they even reach out to a private sector and find out about it. And the private sector feels that they have won the trust immediately within the first meeting, but no, they go back and check. So government agencies follow that principle. But when we look into to your question, you mentioned about hobbyists and about the private sector stuff. The private sector looks at innovation, safety, and then the ROI. The ROI shifts between the second and third place in the industry side. But when it comes to hobbyists, none of these things really make a factor. And why, when you had mentioned about the point that it did not kick off to the way it should have, the vision was that hobbyist industry is going to be a really big industry. You're going to see a lot of different products. The problem was that the folks who were focusing on the hobbyist side started shifting their focus to the commercial side and the public safety side, and eventually the hobbyist side was left, I would say, high and dry with whatever technology existed. And occasionally you see some new technologies coming in that they would like to use, but they have no guidance on how to use it, or and when I mention the word guidance, it's not from the product usage side, but where to fly these things in the airspace. The airspace has become so complicated for them. They have to, the commercial industry is utilizing it, and like Adam mentioned about the advanced air mobility, urban air mobility. Your airspace is getting even more complicated for a person who just wants to take out his drone and fly freely. So, this is where the industry of hobbyists has come to somewhere like a standstill. And I hope to see that changing eventually when we understand the airspace better to guide them in the future.
Thanks, Darshan. And what you're saying definitely makes sense. It's really important, the work you guys do with educating these agencies as to the benefits of drones.